a sport every day, at least to keep them away from their screen time, which the kids are more addicted towards today. But we're going to talk a little more in for professional sports athletes, how nutrition is important and why it is important. So firstly, coming to, so what influences the sports person's ability? So when we come to a sport or an athlete or any kind of a game, there are a lot of factors involved in it when the person plays a sport. So it can be, different causes like genetic factors. So how the person is playing can also be due to the genetics and the genes he has, and the optimal training he gets, the kind of training he receives or she receives, and the good nutrition that she or he receives, from the beginning of the career, or even beginning of trying to even participate or starting even training for that sport. So why do you need to eat? And so what is the main reason that you need to eat, especially when it comes to a sports person? Like we all know that eating for a person is because the person needs to stay alive and needs to get going for the daily activities and the chores that he does, let it be at home or at office or at school for a child who's into for a child. So but for a sports person, it does have a little more in detail why that person has to eat. So if you see, the first is for performance. So to improve the performance, to enhance the performance, and to show that the performance can be much better when you get good nutrition. Next is to reduce the risk of injury. So of course we know that sports athletes are very prone to injuries, and that injuries can be at any area of the body and can be at any severity or level of severity. So it can be mild, it can be severe. So these risk of injuries can be minimalized with the right type of nutrition that the person actually takes. And also, once the person plays a sport or finishes a game, they have to recover. The body has to recover and recoup, which means it has to repair itself. So for example, I will say that our body is similar to a machine or a car. So always, it's so how our car performs depends on the type of petrol we put in. If it's if it's not good quality of petrol, of course the engine gets spoiled and things like that. So the similar way, and the performance decreases, of course, of the car. So similar way, if you don't give the right type of foods and right type of nutrition, of course, the performance will decrease for that person to play any sport or a game. And recovery. So when we give the car, enough rest, okay, provide enough rest and let it stay for a while without running it continuously for hours, that is how it recovers, and for the next day also it can perform, the car can move well and go a long distance. Similarly, even our body needs that rest, but rest also includes two things here. It can be rest through a sleep, or it can be rest and providing the right nutrition during that rest period also. That I will talk about it in the coming slides. So what are the challenges faced by a sports athlete? So we need to understand that every game played or any sport played differs and is facing a lot of challenges, whether it's in the place or it's in the temperatures that they are staying in, whether they're playing in the south or whether they're playing in north, or whether they're playing in a different country also. So so if you see here, for example, like when we see especially the IPL matches or any kind of cricket matches in India or outside India, When other country like players from Australia come in, they face a lot of challenges. Also, when recently when there were matches in Dubai and all, so even our Indian players had actually faced few issues, because of the temperature difference and all. So temperature plays an important role in, for a person to play any kind of a sport. So you need to understand that how we combat these temperature changes and how we challenge these through nutrition. And hours of matches. So hours of matches mean, so how long is the match going to be? How long is the game going to be? And are there any breaks in between or no? So even that nutrition depends a lot, because we need to plan well ahead. Okay, if it's a long hour of match, how much are we giving, and what type of foods are also we are giving, and the quality, the quantity, and the amount plays a major role in playing the game and combating and playing a successful match for a number of hours or a long or short period of hours. Next is sustaining energy. So the challenge here will be, as I told, like for the number of hours that we play, like if it's long hours, you need that sustainable energy. So if you're fueling yourself really low calories or low amount of nutrient rich foods, then obviously you're not giving that energy which can sustain for a long period of time. It can be for hours together, like a football match, you have the number of hours is different. For a cricket match, the number of hours is different. So the type of foods you give will give that sustainable energy throughout, from the beginning till the end of the match.